Hi, I'm Greg with BTOD.com, and today we're going to be showing you how to assemble your VertDesk V3's programmable switch. Alright, so we're now ready to start the assembly for the VertDesk V3's programmable switch. We're going to run through the tools required and then the hardware just to verify that we do have everything needed to get this assembled properly. The first is to use a cordless drill. You can use a hand screwdriver, however, it is going to take quite a bit more effort. And then I would definitely recommend using the number 2 square bit versus the number 2 Phillips head driver bit. And then when we look at the hardware included for the assembly, the first thing listed is letter C. It's a 3/4 inch wood screw. There should be 2 of those included, and if you refer back to the original assembly instructions, those would be listed as letter E. Next we have letter D, which is 4 of the 3/4 inch wood screws, and again, referring back to the original assembly instruction, those will be listed as H. So we're now ready to go ahead and get started with the assembly. The first thing I will assemble is the programmable switch itself. So we're going to want to take that 3/4 inch wood screw that's labeled as D, and we're going to take 2 of them to assemble the programmable switch. Before we do that, we'll take a quick look at the actual switch. You'll see here the top edge, we'll want to use that line to align to the actual edge of the surface. And what I do is we don't pre-drill for programmable switches, and so I just kind of align it off the upper support. And when you get a good feel for it here on the edge, you can take your cordless drill and start to insert the screws. And you'll notice that they're slotted, and this will allow for you to actually slide the programmable switch back and forth, and so you don't have to be very precise here. Just make sure with the bigger opening that you don't actually screw into there, because the head of the actual screw isn't large enough to get a good bite, and so it won't hold your switch in place. All right, so next step is to actually take the control box here, and we'll take 2 more of those 3/4 inch screws labeled as D, and we'll go around the other side. And this part we do pre-drill holes, and so you'll see there's 2 of them here, and they'll line up with the control box. Something to take note of, there's 2 sides to the control box. Take the side with the plugs and put them towards the electronics, so your switch, your motor. This will make it a little bit easier for the cords to reach. So once we get those holes aligned, we can go ahead and put the 2 screws in. All right, so we've got the programmable switch, we've got the control box mounted, and now we can take our J cables, and you'll see we've got 2 J cables here. There is an adhesive strip on the back side. We'll go ahead and pull that off. For right now, we're not going to pull it off, but I would recommend it just to keep it in place as you're actually mounting it to your surface. Basically what we've done is we've got one for this side, and you can see this is kind of how we align it with the open side towards you. And we'll put a screw in the middle to hold that in place. These are the 2 screws listed as letter C. Get that one in place, and then we'll just pop on the other side here. Same thing. You can see we keep that J cable open towards the back of the desk, making it easy to feed the wires. Now we've got that in place, we're ready to start running our wires. First thing I do is I would actually plug in the wires into your control box, and then once we have them plugged in, we'll feed them through the J cable. So starting with your programmable switch, you'll see it is the blue plug here, and there's an arrow on the side that should face up towards you. We'll want to align that with the HS plug. Get that plugged in. The next is going to be your motor plug. You can see it's the next plug-in labeled as M1. Get that clicked into place. And now you can kind of feed your wires. Take the motor wire. And then lastly, we'll go ahead and we'll plug in our power cord. And we're ready to flip the table over and go through the initialization. So we now have completed the assembly of the programmable switch for the VertDesk V3. We've gone ahead and we flipped the desk over, and before we can actually use the desk, we're going to need to do the initialization or the startup procedures that you'll find in your assembly instructions. So one thing you'll notice right away is that the switch is going to be flashing 0, and that's okay. So what we'll do right away is we'll press and hold the down button, and you'll actually see and feel the desk move down and then up slightly. And now you'll notice the desk has a number on it. So it's going to say 27. That's the lowest height for the desk. Now we know everything's initialized. We can go ahead and we can press the up button. Once your desk moves up, you should be good to go. Now, if you have any other questions on how to assemble the programmable switch for the VertDesk V3 or any of the standard installation, please feel free to reach out to us via email or give us a call. Otherwise, you can always leave a comment in the section below. Thanks a lot for watching.